Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Where I'm located right now is 5:41 a.m. So I wanted to record this video to show my point of view about why do I believe in God, and not only because it's not like I believe in God and I just believe in God. I believe I have reasons and I have read so much about it that I could really say why I believe in God. There are scientists, even Einstein, who thought that it was impossible to live in a world like this without considering a God. So I'm gonna explain my point of view in this video. So stay until the end so you'll know why I believe in God, okay? Alright, first of all, when you read the book Think and Grow Rich, you realize that everything in this world has been created considering a thought. So what does that mean? Pretty much is when humans were living, let's say, in the 17th century, there was no planes, there was no cars. So how we created those things? It was impossible in our mind to consider a world with those things. And now in the 21st century, that's even impossible to consider, or to live without a plane or a car is pretty normal for us. So when we when we thought or when someone thought about a device that could take us from a state to another or to a city to another, because like in the 17th century you had to walk or you had to use horses to move around. That was not really the fastest way to arrive to another place. So someone had a thought in their mind on how to fix that problem, right? And that person started to imagine solutions to that problem. So that person started to make experiments about how to build cars, right? So if I'm not mistaken, that was Henry Ford. And that thought became a reality because he had a pretty clear, at first it could not be like a pretty clear idea, but he started to imagine that solution. And not only imagine it, but he started to create something. He started to try to make that work in this world, even if that didn't exist. The same thing with planes. There were two guys that they wanted, that they truly believed that humans could fly. So they started to have in their mind an idea of how humans could fly. And they started to experiment, they started to create something that really could help humans to fly. That's how the cars and the planes were created. So I was thinking exactly the same, like, I know this is gonna sound weird, but let's imagine how chairs were created. Like at some point we as humans didn't know how to create a chair, but someone had a thought like, oh, we could use another posture more comfortable, that is being laid down or being stand up, so we could create a chair, and that person just created the chair. So my question is, how we thought about it. If it didn't exist in this world, how we thought about it. So at some point I believe there's a God who is giving us these thoughts so we can create that in this world. And actually God works in the same way. God thought about this world like nothing existed before. So like this planet and this world had to start somewhere. It should have a beginning. So God was just thinking about his creation, and just suddenly he started to create this world with the thoughts that he had in his mind. So I don't know if you're already getting the idea, but pretty much this world couldn't exist without the thoughts that we're getting, and every new thing that we are having in this world are coming from thoughts. And in the book, Think and Grow Rich, and several books that I have read, people speak about how we can't create something new. Like humans are being built this way. We really need to create something, innovation, create a new product, create a new thing. And that's how it's impossible to me that there is no God, or there is no a higher force or a higher intelligence, because these thoughts are coming from somewhere. Like, how is it possible that we really could create a bowl and we knew that was um, gonna work, that was gonna taste good, exactly the same as burgers? Like, imagine who was the first person who thought about it, and how that thought came in their mind. That's how I was like, okay, there must be really something, because these thoughts are coming from somewhere, and that's weird, but it works. I mean, all the food that we have in the world, all the devices that we have in the world, all the books that we have in the world, those thoughts came from somewhere. But just imagine, like, the first person who imagined that part, how he came up with the idea of creating it. So that's something that really made me think about it. And actually, there's a scientist who thought the same thing. Like, um, I don't remember his name, but I read it in a book that is by Bob Proctor, and he explained, like, he was a really huge scientist. He explained that it was really impossible to think about a world without God, because the ideas need to come from somewhere. And if we, like, if you read the Bible, I know it's weird, but if you read the Bible, God says that the Bible says that we were created by the same image as God. And if He is a creator, we are creators too. And if He created the world the same way we are creating the things in the world, do you think that's really a coincidence? I don't know, it's just so many things to think about. And actually, there are so many things that we can't really see. The problem is we are considering that this world is the only thing that really exists, but there are so many things that we can't see. It's like sound. You can really see sound, like you just can hear it, but you really can see it? No, you can't. But you know sound exists because you're hearing this video, right? It's the same thing with vibrations. Like, sound is vibration, and you can feel vibration when you go to a concert, and well, you know that the volume is really up, but you feel the vibration in your body. And it's just something that you can't see, you're feeling it. Same thing as energy, same thing as um, so many stuff that we can't really see. We're just trying to live in a world that it seems material, but it's not. So what I'm trying to say is there are so many stuff that we can't really see, but they exist, right? Because you feel it. So perhaps God is the same thing. You can't see him, but you can feel it. But we are just really blind. We don't really want to see, or you don't want to feel, and you just try to avoid those feelings, and you just try to avoid, like when you speak about intuition, you know something is going on. You can't see it, but you have a feeling. It's the same thing. So we're in a world where there are so many stuff that you can see, and we're trying to live as those things don't exist. And that's when some problems are appearing in your life. And well, you don't have to believe me. Just considering checking out the Bible and considering checking the science behind all these things, vibration, sound, how does that work, right? How people create new things. Like, start to read, start to research on your own. You don't have to believe me, it's just my point of view. And well, pretty much, sometimes we'll believe that science and spirituality or religion are not really connected, but I really think they do. Um, because science is just the study of our world, but that doesn't mean that our world is just the visible. The world is also about all the non-visible stuff, vibrations, energy, frequencies. And well, I'm telling you this like a few years back, I didn't believe so much that God existed. So I believe that I was just I was just being open to read about all those things. I believe, like dumb, when I didn't believe in God, I was really curious about the world, and that really allowed me to read about science books, about animals. That's another thing. Like, you can imagine the amount of animals that are in this world, and you like imagine who created that, like who thought about those animals. And at some point, I believe, when science says, oh, there was a new animal discovered, I was like, really, that new animal was discovered, or just God sent it, or who created it? It's weird. Like, I know this is gonna be like something weird to think about, but it's like there are so many animals. Who thought about it? Who created them? Mm, the first animal who was created, how is that possible? I don't know, just things that really made me change my mind about a creator. And I'm not telling you to believe in God in this video. If you don't want to, that's fine. Actually, it could be a good thing because you're more curious about this world. That's something that happened to me. And I was also really open to new research, new books, and it really helped me to understand, and that's fun. At the end, after a few years, I realized that there's a God, or that this is really, we're not considering a God. Um, After all the research that I made on my own. So this video is just to, first of all, share my point of view, and second of all, stay curious. Just don't believe me, read on your own. It is bad to believe something just by being blind and just follow everyone. I believe that you have to get into your own conclusions about your own thoughts. So it's perfect you don't believe in God. Just start reading, start analyzing, start really diving, like every thought that has been put in your mind, just think if it is accurate what you're getting in your mind. Sometimes it's just people around you that want you to believe the same, but it could not be really a good thought or a good belief. So well, thank you for staying. If you like this content, just support this channel. I'm trying to upload a video a day, so if you really like it, subscribe. And thank you for watching. Bye.